Greetings, programs, and welcome to Space Dwarves, the game, also known as Deep Rock Galactic. This is a recent acquisition for me, but the game itself has been around for a couple of years at this point. And much like other games I like, it is a co-op shooty game, but there's a little bit more to it than that, but not that much more to it. It's basically you go through missions on procedurally generated levels and have to do various objectives. But they've really leaned into the Space Dwarf theme, and it's been quite fun. So I have ATAM actually to thank for prompting me to get this, and it happened to be on sale. So I was like, okay, sure. And given that it has had a couple of years of development at this point, Sam, I'm trying to do a recording here. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. I'm sure you've been able to hear that in the background. Yeah, they've had a good few years to do development, and they've continued to support it. So yeah, much like, for instance, Payday 2, even just the hub area has apparently changed a fair bit over the years, and they've added all kinds of different things in. What is the matter, Samuel? For goodness sake, are you dying to death of starvation? I know for a fact there is food in your bowl. Now, the point of the day, I sit down to do some recordings, and this is the point where Samuel decides he's going to meow his head off at me. So yeah, there's some seasonal stuff going on at the moment. There's assignment board. There's all kinds of crafting stuff, which I've barely scratched. You can, of course, get a pickaxe which you can customize. There's 4 different classes, so it's not like it doesn't have the most variety in terms of its classes. You've got the driller, engineer, gunner, and scout. They all have different specialities, and they all have the possibility of getting different types of weapons, but I don't have any of those yet because I'm still very much a noob at this. So we'll find a mission to jump into. You can play it solo, and it will scale it for you, but it's more fun with other people. And it also takes a bit longer solo because unlike, say, Payday 2, where you get AI companions that at least have some utility to them, even if they aren't the smartest. When you're playing solo, you basically get a little helper drone that can shoot things, and I think that's about it. So let's just find one that's not been going on for too long. That is probably a bit beyond my level at the moment. I don't know what elite threat is, but probably not good. Now that's somebody that's got an engineer. That's somebody that started one, and so let's take a driller because the driller's quite useful. The driller, like the name suggests, gets to use a drill. Everybody has a pickaxe, but the driller has this basically powered drill that allows you to much more quickly dig through rocks and get to different areas. So here we are. There's already nasty things. Let's kill the nasty things. The main weapon of the driller is the flamethrower. There is, just by default, friendly fire in this, but there are various kind of perks you can get to reduce the effect of friendly fire, which I have taken on the driller because, yeah, the flamethrower doesn't really care what it's firing at, and it can get very frenetic. So it's entirely possible to be roasting your allies and not realise it. So in this particular mission, I'm not entirely sure what we're even doing. Let's bring up the scanner. So we have something that's up there. That's the other player that's down there. And we are... Oh, actually, it's up there. We're connecting 3 pipelines. So basically, we're finding some almost like geyser-like things to essentially hook up. Well, it says right there, pipelines. Oh, and I've fallen off. Yeah, there's fall damage. There's definitely fall damage. I don't have a good way to get back up there, alas. The engineer does. The engineer can shoot out platforms. Oh, didn't mean to bash the platform. A bit like the goo gun in Prey. The what was it 20 whatever? The more recent Prey. Anyway, and much like in that game, you can use it to traverse and get to places. Oh yeah, we don't have Molly in this one. Yes, in most of the missions you have a kind of robot, basically loot chest that follows you around and you dump all the minerals into it, but this particular mission, you don't. So this particular type of mission, so you have to run up to the refinery itself to dump in your loot. So gold is basically just gonna give you currency when you finish the mission. Nitra is the other common item that you'll find, and it will allow you to summon in resupply pods, because as you've probably noticed, you have limited supplies of ammunition. And the things called loot bugs, those things, yeah, you can kill them and they'll like drop stuff, which is a bit mean, but you can do that. And yes, there we go, the friendly fire being demonstrated there. I don't know if he was just aiming at the loot bug and not hitting it very well, but yeah. Or maybe he didn't want me to hurt the poor little loot bug, because there are, as you saw when I first dropped, there are nasty spider bug things of various types that will spawn in and try and kill you, and there are times when you get basically big waves of those things coming in to try and kill you, but yeah, the ecosystem isn't just things that try to kill you. There are other various creatures around as well. So that is okay. That's a bit of life crystal, rock sugar, or whatever they call it. But yeah, you get those red glowing crystals, and those can replenish your health. But you can also get health from the drops, and yeah. I don't know, I'm just explaining everything, and I probably don't really need to, because I'm sure most people watching this will probably like this game. Although maybe there are some people who are watching this haven't. I don't know. Anyway, right, that is actually one of the things that's there. And we'll call him... Oh! Yeah, that's one of the other enemy types. It's basically the head rope hugger thing from Half-Life. Yeah, I kind of need an ally to... There we go. I might die on the way down anyway. I did not, but that was unpleasant. Yeah. So if I could find some of that sweet life crystal sugar stuff, that would be jolly useful. Yeah. Right, anyway, that's called in on that one I was trying to do before I was so rudely interrupted. Where is that? There was a bit on the ground. I think it was over by the pub jack, wasn't it? Hold control, I can see where things are. Okay, that's the refinery. It's a little bit easy to get turned around. These levels aren't like the biggest. But, you know, this is still reasonably sized. You get others where it's more about exploring through different caverns and whatnot. And, there we go, get that back. And, there's more to do in terms of exploration, but this one it's just basically finding the three things, building the pipelines, and, yeah. Which is exactly what this guy's doing. We can help speed things up. So you not only have to lay out the framework, but then you have to build the actual pipe itself. And once you've done that, you actually get to ride it around like a roller coaster, which can be quite fun. But it's a nice little feature. You can quickly zip back and forth between the wellhead and the actual refinery.
Rock Galactic develop a way to automate this process.
But yeah, there's so many nice things in this game, though. So many nice touches that it's really leaned into its space dwarfiness. One of the things I could have showed back in the hub area was the bar. There's a whole thing with you don't buff yourself with potions. No, you buff yourself with beer because, of course, you are dwarves. and there's even a whole crafting system around. You can find ingredients that let you craft different kinds of beer that have different buff effects. And there are even some beers that don't have any real buff effects, they just have kind of silly effects as you are standing there in the thing. So anyway, yeah, let's ride it back. Whee! So take me all the way back to the pub check. So that's one of the 3 pipes done. We have enough nitra for a couple of resupplies at this point. Basically, we'll get some periodic scattered enemies attacking. Sometimes you get waves, and then there'll be waves tied to once you've connected all the pipelines, and hey look, all the noise and vibrations is attacking a massive attracting a massive swarm of enemies. There's quite a lot of that once you get to your final objectives, and all the monsters attack just to make life fun. You might notice I'm slinging down flares every so often. Apparently those didn't used to regen, but at some point they made it so they do. One of the specialities of the scout class is that they get an actual flare gun, which provides much longer lasting light, but doesn't regen. You've got to get the ammo from the actual resupply pods. Right, meteor fragments, this is another thing that can happen. Because, you're space dwarfs, and there can't just be one kind of hazard, no, you have massive bits of meteor plunging through the crust of this shattered planet to try and kill you. Because, of course. This, oh, yeah, that's one of those nasty flying bugs that shoot goop on the floor and make everything sticky and hard to move in. And they're a little bit annoying. They're not the most annoying enemy by far, there are definitely more annoying enemies. Oh, hello. Yeah, those are just kind of basic space spiders. There are, of course, plenty of boss-type enemies to go around. Yeah, that's what I mean about it. You can get a bit frenetic. There are ones that you can only actually damage with pickaxes. There are sometimes robot enemies. There's actually one of the mission types where you have to basically go and tackle a robot enemy, and essentially you can then repair it and make it into an ally. So yeah, there's a good bit of mission variety, but a lot of the replayability on this, I think, rests on the fact that the actual levels are procedurally generated. Of course, that can come with its own pitfalls, but you compare that to, I mean, the other co-op game shooty game that I covered recently was Dark Tide, which I haven't really played that much since then, because I kind of have got to the point where I feel like I've done everything with Dark Tide that it really has to offer at this point, and yeah, they actually, Fireshark actually announced that, okay, we're actually, instead of trying to add stuff with, new content, we're going to try and fix stuff and deliver on the promised stuff, like the crafting system that was supposed to be there, but yeah. I have maybe a tiny bit of sympathy for them, but only a tiny bit, because partly a bunch of the things were things they themselves promised and then didn't deliver on at the point where they went, right, the game's ready now, it's released, this is it, this is the release 1.0, and a bunch of people went, really, is it? Including me, because it really didn't feel like it. And yeah, of course, the expectation then that they will deliver something similar to Vermintide 1 and 2, which they kind of really didn't. So yeah, the actual gameplay very polished, but everything around the gameplay really not so much. And hell, I mentioned Payday 2 earlier. I've kept that perpetually installed for a really long time, because every so often I just get the urge to go back and play that, and oh, it can be quite a lot of fun still. And, you know, there's years worth of content in that at this point. Oh, yeah, those rolly bugs are a bit annoying. They just roll into everything and knock you over. Let's grab that little bit of health crystal. Yeah, so they've got that going, but the way it works in that game as well. Oh yeah, that's just one of the abilities of, I can't remember which class it is, but you could actually domesticate temporarily one of the bugs. So yeah, Payday 2, yeah, the fact that you can essentially make your own classes with how the perk system works, and comparing that to how limited it feels in Darktide, where you've essentially got only a couple of classes effectively, and very little possible variation within those.
Platform up.
Oh, I'm not sure why we're going up here, but I'm being curious. I'm just seeing if there's something up here that we're trying to get. Anyway, do we actually, does someone need to push a button or something? I think so. You actually need to push a button to start the machine.
Rock and stone, everyone.
I don't know if there's some reason we're not doing that yet. Possibly, are they trying to set up something? I have no idea, but anyway.
The liquid morkite is being extracted.
Right, let's also call down a resupply pod next to the thing.
So stay on your toes and
Because I'm at about half of my flamethrower ammo at the moment. And it's handy to have one just available. Don't stand underneath them, by the way. Apparently they will squash you. I've been told that several times, so yes, they will absolutely just squash you. Yeah, we're being attacked right now. So this is what I meant when I said that, yeah. The bugs get a bit angry when you start doing things. Okay, so this is the other thing you have to do with the pipeline mission, is actually prepare it when it starts spurting all the stuff out, and you don't want it to spurt all the stuff out. Woo. Because we're trying to get the stuff. The liquid morkite. Down so we can see what we're doing. I do like that light management is a part of this game, because apparently dwarves are industrious and clever but have not invented the night vision goggle, so they rely on flares and more flares, and also setting things on fire. You know, flamethrower, that can light things up, right? Okay, they've fixed that. That's fine. Let's head back there. Whee! It is fabulous. Whoever thought up that of being able to do that as a thing was a genius. Okay, I might need to. Yep, I might need to grab some health. Fortunately, if you get downed, there is no. No. There is no timer, so you can just, as long as everybody doesn't get downed at the same time, which is obviously a mission fail, it's fine. Somebody can just come and revive you at their leisure, kind of thing. Right, so there we go. And if I take one of these, that will get me ammo and health. Okay. One thing that these dwarves are not is particularly environmentally conscious, but, you know, given the remains of the planet that we're around, yeah, I mean, it clearly does have its own ecosystem, but most of the ecosystem seems to consist of angry bugs that want to kill you. Oh, but clearly, there's enough wealth here for it to be worthwhile. You know, in the deep lore of this game, of the space dwarves. Right, so we're getting there. 2/3 of the way. Okay, another swarm is on the way. I think I've even used a grenade yet. I've at least, like, your flare button or your whatever button is F, and the grenade button by default is G, so I found myself doing that quite a lot early on, throwing grenades when I meant to do that. So if I throw a grenade, which, oh yeah, for this particular class, isn't even a grenade, it's an axe. You throw an axe. The other classes do get actual grenades that do different things. So I think the gunner gets the damage grenade, there's like a status grenade the scout gets, and the engineer has like a little distraction hollow grenade thing that they throw that basically like draws enemies towards it so you can corral them a bit. But I think it's only ever 2 leaks per pipeline.
Other pipelines are still malfunctioning.
So it's just a matter of finding them. So that's...
This pipeline is fixed. But you need to
Now was that good? Was that friendly bug? Which I think the bug is always called Steve. Everything has a name in this game. You know, the loot box that follows you is called Molly. The bugs are called Steve.
Pipeline's operational again. You're doing fine.
Oh, there's probably other names for things I'm forgetting. But yeah, the dwarves like to give everything names.
And the cargo rocket is
Apparently.
all systems are go. Just press the launch button.
And there we go, so we can actually send that off. It's not really clear if the dwarves are all male or if they're going with the sort of classical things of, well, you can't really tell. Some of the dwarves are male, some of the dwarves are female, but they'll have beards regardless. And I can't remember if that was a Tolkien thing or if that was a Terry Pratchett thing, to be honest. It was definitely a thing in the Discord, but I don't know if it was him that originated it or if it was from elsewhere. Right, so we're basically now waiting for the extraction, which won't drop next to us, because of course it won't. We'll have to go and find it.
You eyeballing me!
Oh, hello. Naughty spiders! Apart from the friendly spiders, we can pet the friendly spiders. Yeah.
Drop pod departing in T-minus 3 minutes.
Right, so that's actually really close. Ouch. Yeah, some of them explode. Oh well, that was a really close by departure area. I don't think we get to take the tame bugs with us, alas. Oh, there's a turret up there. I don't know what this engineer guy's doing. I think these people are all, like, 2 of them, you see the stars above their names, that means they've kind of deleted the characters, essentially. Oh, I think this thing has this game has rather loyal or dedicated player base. But, you know, the developer has supported it all this time, and it isn't like I mean, Payday 2, they wanted to move on from at one point, and then there was a whole bunch of drama with the studio Starbreeze, and yeah, it all ended up being a bit, I don't know, they basically had to go back to Payday 2 as something to keep the lights on. Although they have recently announced Payday 3, so I don't know if that's going to be... Like, they literally just went, here's the logo for Payday 3, so I don't know if it's going to be like... yeah, maybe let's go. That sounded scary, whatever it was. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be, like, you know, 2 or 3 years' time or whatever that we see Payday 3, but it'll be interesting. There we go. There's actually another dwarf game that came out recently, of course, except not really. The Steam version of Dwarf Fortress, which is another one that I don't even own it yet, but I definitely will buy that at some point. I have made attempts to get into OG Dwarf Fortress in the past and was never like in the, what, 3 or 4 times I tried to, I would get some hours in, but eventually I would just kind of get a bit defeated by how obtuse the interface was. But yeah, reportedly that's done very well in terms of sales on Steam. And it really does deserve to, because it's one of those games that... It's basically the Citizen Kane of sort of colony builder games. Right, so that got me a perk point. You basically, like, by doing various running missions, you get perks, and you can assign them to different characters. But, yeah, let's... we leave team, won't it? Let's find a different thing, or maybe even do a... No, we won't do a solo one, it'll take too long. But I will do another mission, because the missions don't take that long. And we'll see if we can't get another different kind. We'll also see, is there any new upgrades or anything? No? Don't think so. The upgrade system is quite nice. I mean, I don't have any other weapons unlocked at the moment, but yeah, each of these upgrades costs resources, and you pick up the crafting resource while you're actually playing. But by unlocking all of them, you actually can unlock additional things. So this skin, for instance, is because I got at least 3 of the upgrades unlocked, even though you can only have one selected at a time. So there is a point to investing in the things that you don't even have yet. So yeah, let's see what else. Salvage. Escort duty? Escort duty can be quite fun. And we have a scout and a driller. I am going to take gunner this time, because you get a minigun. You also, for some reason, as the gunner, you get like a grapple gun. So the engineer gets the platform gun, which, you know, you can use that to traverse around different ways. But even if you don't have an engineer, you can also, if you have a gunner instead, you can set up thingamy lines.
I have a good feeling about this.
I know what I mean, you know, zip lines, there we go. I couldn't think of the word. Anyway, so in the escort mission, you have a drilling machine that you're trying to escort to a goal, basically. Oh, that's unpleasant looking. I mean, they're all unpleasant looking. They're space bugs trying to eat your face, so yeah. But it looks like we're at the stage of fueling. So in this particular mission, you've got oil shell. You basically have to... I assume that's... yes. Empty. So you basically shoots out a beam and you suck up the oil shale, and somehow this provides fuel magically for... Don't question it. It's dwarf technology. Don't think about it too hard. So yeah, we've got to fuel the thing and basically defend it till it gets to its goal, at which point, of course, there's going to be a whole massive wave of bugs that aren't very happy. Right, is this... No, I think it has to be full.
Reinforcement is on the way.
Okay, that means we're getting another player joining. Possibly enough of the remnants of this... build this canister, or maybe not. Right, so... oh, there's some gold there as well. Right, yeah. If I...
There is nitro over here.
You could basically, like, mine into almost anything. So if I sort of...
Protect the drill dozer.
Oh.
It's being attacked by wildlife.
Okay, I got a bit disoriented there for some reason. But, yeah, we can hopefully get enough to fill up, and then we'll hustle back. Are you being rude? Yes, Mr. Pretoria, you are being rude. Well, have a minigun to the face. I don't think it's the weak spot. Most of these bugs have some kind of... Oh yeah, also, some of them, when you kill them... Noxious clouds of gas. Not pleasant. Hello, bugs. Right, we're so close on getting this. We just need to... Anything else to shoot? No.
One more. See you, suckers.
Right, it is just... I don't know, possibly there's some easier thing around to get than that deposit up there, but... It's like, I'm here.
Red sugar will make you feel better.
Oh, is there managed to... Oh, someone put out some... That's handy. So people are generally, like... I mean, it's usually okay in Payday, but sometimes it's really not. Like, the people that you end up with can just be absolute trolls, but I've not had that experience with this game so far at all. Yeah, everyone just seems to be very, very nice. So here's Molly, this is Molly. That follows you around and, yeah.
Here we go.
If you put sufficient resources, you have to put the Nitra into Molly. The one downside with it is that that's the only time when you can see how much you have is when you're depositing material into Molly. So you just kind of have to have something to put in to then see how much you're able to get, because I think you need 80 Nitra. Anyway, so slowly drilling our way towards our target.
Sentry gun needs assembly. Sentry off.
Hello, naughty bug. We don't like you. Even more bugs. Don't have to reload the minigun, which is nice, but you do have to worry about barrel heat being a thing. Let's put the one down over there. Kill some things. Oh, go all around me. Hello, bugs. Yes, you're not happy to see us. I do know that. I had noticed. Ooh, my health is perilously low. Is that? Oh yeah, no, that's that weird leggy-looking plant thing is a thing that you have to kill as well. There are so many things that want to kill you in this game. Yep, hello. You can die. One nice thing about the... You might be noticing the... in fact, there we go. You can remotely recall turrets, which is a really nice feature. Like, you know, you get turrets in Payday 2 as well, obviously, but... or even Team Fortress 2. Of course, it's probably another very famous example of having turrets. In fact, so famous that there's a Payday 2 mission where, as an Easter egg, you get the Payday 2 turrets as a thing that you have to grab. You don't get to use them, sadly. They're just like an Easter egg, but yeah. But the fact that you can plonk them down and then remotely recall them, not actually have to go running after them, is super, super useful. Okay, do we have enough? No, it's just nobody call. Like this is the objective, but we want to make sure that we can get at least one. One thing going. One resupply going, because yeah, it's going to get a bit hairy. Where is some Nitra? It's quite a big chamber, this. This is where having a scout that can shoot the sticky things is very, very useful.
Found some nitra.
Right, if I shoot the line up there. Don't know if that's actually that useful, but you know, get a bit higher, we might find some
Secured yourself a nice bonus.
stuff. We've also apparently done a secondary, which is nice. Not seeing any. There's quite a... I've even touched on the fact that this is, you know, sort of a slightly different looking biome. There's a nice variety of biomes. You get sort of very dry, dusty, sort of sandstone biomes going on. The other major one is like an icy biome. Right, I don't want to waste any more of these, but I'm not seeing any. Oh, there we go. So we did have apparently enough for a resupply pod. Don't think these flowers do anything, they just react to you being there.
Let's rock and stove.
Some bugs. I don't think this is... Kind of have to be up close. It's not really a snipey kind of weapon. Good for a rapid rate of fire, but right. Okay, we started the drilling process.
If you lose the dozer, you lose the mission. So guard it well.
Yes, so it is possible to fail this. It is possible for the dozer to take so much damage that
Remember that the drill dozer is top
it gets obliterated. Obliterated is a word. I don't know what these are. I'm guessing these are proximity mines. Because, as I say, I haven't unlocked any alternative weapons yet. I still only have the starting weapons. I think you need to get a character to level 10 before you can get start getting alternative stuff. There's also sometimes like cosmetic things that you can find in like skins for your weapons or different skins for your character's armor that you can just find in the levels themselves. And you can also... Ooh, oh yeah! It does that as you go through the different layers. Don't stand too close to it. Yeah. There's also ones you can buy with the in-game currency as well. And that's another... I mean, you know, going back to mentioning Darktide, but man, that's the thing where Darktide really screwed the pooch, was deciding that they were going to do the cosmetics as they did. Have so little variety for the ones you could get with the in-game currency. And then basically go for like almost a free-to-play style monetization model. Don't ask me why there's flying rocks that guard this thing, there just are. Just magical flying rocks. Don't worry about it. Okay, almost through. Let's not stand too close, because the shockwave will knock you back and will take off your health. Kapow!
approaching the drill dozer.
Can I? No, okay, I think only the engineers can refill their own turrets with ammo.
At the halfway point. Keep it running.
Which is a separate ammo pool, which is quite nice. In Payday 2 it's not. It's a shared ammo pool with your main weapons. Which can make sometimes managing said ammo a bit of a pain. You get to situations where you can't afford to put turrets down because you literally don't have enough ammo. So we're doing alright, we're keeping this mostly mostly in like don't the fact that it's saying 0% for this left side track, I don't know if it means that that's now completely knackered, but yeah, I mean it's stationary at this point, so
Getting supplies. Watch and learn.
hopefully that doesn't matter. I guess if it's the main body that goes down to 0, that becomes a problem.
Rock and stove.
Right, Oh, unfortunately, okay. wasn't able to grab. I do still. I have
Almost there.
basically a big revolver, and you always have the option of hitting things with your pickaxe. Yeah, getting a bit low on minigun ammo though. Can we call in another? No, we don't have enough nitro.
We got a big horde of enemies approaching the drill dozer. Defend it or die trying.
Yeah, one of the subtle but nice things is that your dwarven employers doesn't care about your welfare that much. Oh yeah, I accidentally some damage there. Am I out of? I am out of. Spin the barrel. Spin the barrel at them.
Pickaxe over and beamers! Little naughty fix!
It's a little bit of a pity there isn't. Everyone gets a melee attack, but if there was some actual melee class, I think that might be quite fun. Maybe there's one of the specializations that I can't do yet that lets you do more powerful melee attacks. Right, we're almost through. We've just about won this one. I do wonder, I don't know how many people that watch me are aware of either GameSpot's videos with Jonathan Ferguson or the Royal Armoury's own YouTube channel. But they do these quite entertaining collaborations with the Royal Armoury's Museum in the UK, where they sort of go over the veracity on the accuracy of various video game guns. Like, obviously quite a lot of video game guns are meant to be like real life implementations of real life guns, but they also quite often cover things like Cyberpunk or other games where they've essentially made up their own weapons. And yeah, I don't know if they've ever done Deep Rock Galactic. That might be quite a fun one. Or the various dwarfy weapons, which all have a very pleasingly chunky aesthetic. Ooh, let's grab a bit of that. Right, so with these ones it's usually just a straight run back to the area where you first landed. And yeah, I think as long as one person gets out in the pod, it's fine. I mean, as you've noticed, the pod is on a timer. But even if oh, I'm completely. Yeah, even if only one person gets back, you know, it's Molly getting back with the payload. That's the important thing. That's all the company really cares about. And as long as one of the dwarfs gets back as well, that's fine. But even if you fail the missions and everyone gets downed, or you hit some other fail condition, it's actually not that bad. You still do get plenty of or some experience out of it. Not about plenty, but you do get some experience out of it. Oh, also, yeah, that's the thing. Apparently, you can recover part of the drill, the machine, and bring it back with you. It's a little bonus thing. You don't have to, but you can do.
Come on, guys! Rock and stone!
Rock and stone!
Rock and stone! To the bone!
Yeah, anyway, so there we go, another successful mission. Don't think that was super hard difficulty or anything. There we go. There's all the XP, and it's not quite enough for... Oh no, there we go, into level 9. Excellent. And in fact, I got some bonus XP for doing that mission, of doing sufficient numbers of missions as that one class. So there we go. That's Deep Rock Galactic, and I've been aware of it for ages and ages, but man, did I kind of sleep on this game. So, yeah, now I've discovered it, I'm thoroughly glad I have. I think it'll be like Payday, where I keep it permanently installed, and every so often I get that itch to go and do Space Dwarf things, which this game absolutely will let you do. Let's wrap this up by having a beer and having some tunes, because that's another thing you can do.
Round of oilios.
Some of the beers, as I said, have
Oh, I like
quite
that.
silly effects. But I don't think this one does. I think if you just drink enough of them, you get drunk. So there we go. Hopefully that doesn't get... I recognise that tune. Hopefully that doesn't get a copyright thing. Anyway, so that was Deep Rock Galactic. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video as much as I've enjoyed being a space dwarf. And if you have, you can do all the usual things down underneath the video. And of course, as always, stay tuned for more.